My name is Kasey Anderson. I'm the Executive Director of ACEC Tennessee. I have been on this national committee for maybe 6 years, 5 years, for several years. I am NACE's representative to the National EEA Committee, and am thrilled to be doing it. ACEC MOs, membership organizations around the country, we each have our own EEA, Engineering Excellence Awards, and they're always a big deal in our states individually, but to see it all sort of come together is really a special thing. And for those to be able to represent NACE up here, I think is a big deal. And to have that connection between the national awards and the individual state awards is really what my role, on the highest level, what my role is in this deal. So I love EEA. I think it's really important to everything we do. We have made a concerted effort in the last several years to make Tennessee's program bigger and better than it has been in the past. Our project numbers have grown and our sort of interest has grown, and we have replicated this national model at the state level in terms of the way that we do our state judging as well. The idea of advocating for projects that a judge is particularly passionate about, we have carried that down at the state level, and I think it's really elevated our program a lot. So it's been great for me to sit up here and work with the national group to then help to elevate ours at the state level as well. And we spend a lot of time at NACE talking about EEA. It's a fairly signature event for almost all of us around the country. We all do it differently. We all have different ways that we might do a dinner or a luncheon or however we do it. Some are black tie at very formal affairs, and some are a little bit more casual and more casually fun, and so we go elegant all the way. We run the gamut, but at its core, what we're doing and the reason that we do it is the same. This is about celebrating the very best in engineering. And it's so, I happen to be our lobbyist as well, and we had our Day on the Hill a week ago, and one of the things that we sent out with everybody we had 68 meetings with legislators in Tennessee, and every single one of them got a copy of our program with the projects highlighted that we knew they'd be interested in. Here's a roundabout you probably drive on 3 times a week. Here's a bridge you go over all the time. That water you're drinking, here's the thing. Or you like the soccer new soccer stadium. This is where it comes from. And it's fun to sort of make that connection, and it helps. It's one of the things that we've been trying to do with the EEA Roadshow. We're expanding the EEA Roadshow idea, the premise of it, in Tennessee with college students, and we're going to start with an HBCU in Nashville and use it as a symposium to talk about engineering with those students and why they should stay in Tennessee and what the great things that engineering firms are doing throughout Tennessee. It gives us this opportunity to highlight our firms, to highlight the work that they're doing, to highlight the importance of, in many cases, to highlight the importance of the public-private connection, the connection with the public entities and agencies and our firms. And in some cases, particularly where I'm from, we also see a lot of private projects that are in there too. But it runs across all of the pieces of what we do. I think there are a lot of folks who, if you're a civil and you do transportation work, you sort of are streamlined focused on transportation work, and you don't take the time to say, look what they've done with that brownfield, or look what that water system's doing over here. And the same, and vice versa. The people who live and breathe water are not necessarily looking at what are the innovations that are happening in the transportation world. So it sort of runs across the board, and EEA gives us this opportunity to do that. We saw some really phenomenal studies this year, and studies are something that oftentimes when you look at the projects that come through the Engineering Excellence Awards process, you sort of forget that studies are such an essential part of what we do, and geotech, and I mean, to me, it's this sort of, in a nutshell, this is the best of what is out there for the engineering industry right now, and it's sort of what's new and what's happening and what's amazing about engineering. The judges take it so seriously. And they have a great time, and this is, it's all fun. This weekend is really fun, but it's also a lot of, they're so engaged and they're so passionate about what does innovation mean? What is innovative about different pieces and parts, and it's for our firms, we have made a very concerted effort to say so anyone who wins a category or a bigger award at ours is eligible to come up here to submit to national for the national awards, and it's a big deal. It's and I get so excited. I walked the room a few minutes ago, and when I see the state boards from Tennessee up on the wall, amidst all these great projects from all over the country and the world, frankly, there are always some great international projects in here too that are done by United States firms. You realize the impact. Tennessee's not the biggest state. We're not the we are a big state, but we're certainly not the biggest state, and we're not and no individual state is. But when you look at it aggregately in the midst of everything else, you realize that a water program in an individual state, the impact that has really throughout the country. It's a piece of this bigger puzzle, and when it all comes together, it's amazing. And one of my favorite things is when I'm traveling. We went, our NACE meeting, our NACE winter conference this year was in Hoboken. And I could step on the balcony of my room at the NACE winter conference, and across the harbor for me was the little island that we saw 3 or 4 projects about last year. And to be able to sit there and go, gosh, I called a judge from up here, and I said, oh my gosh, I'm seeing Little Island in real life. I was so excited. And the same thing with Moynihan, and the same thing with any of the projects that we see. When I travel, I sort of go out of my way now to go check them out. Like, it's just fascinating. And when I do the same thing at the state level, I'll drive around and I'll realize, wait, I'm on that state route where, I know how they did that now. And it's, for me, I'm not an engineer. I certainly don't know. I know just enough about the technical stuff to be dangerous, i.e. I'm incorrect. But it's, it is an honor for me to represent the engineering industry. It's a great honor to be able to that they trust me to do that every day, and to get excited about it and see finished projects and see I love it, and it's this national competition. If anyone who hasn't been to the awards, the Engineering Excellence Award, national awards are a spectacle. It is something to behold. It is a we sort of jokingly call it the Oscars, engineering Oscars, or and sometimes in Tennessee we call it engineering prom, frankly, because everyone's all dolled up and they're not usually. But this one is more. The national one is more of the Oscars. It's a big deal, and it's you walk in there and it's just this sense of awe as you look around the room and you realize what the significance of the impact that the engineering industry has on the world is just right there, all in front of you, and it's in every sort of category of you realize how much it affects general life of the general public, of the public health, safety, and welfare, of the enjoyment of life, of all the pieces, and it sort of all comes together in this one magnificent event. So if anybody hasn't been, gosh, I would encourage you to go. It's a lot of fun, but it also is sort of everything ACEC is about.